Good morning, it's Granny B from Fort Smith, Arkansas. As many of you know, we have been doing a pie collaboration for the month of October. This was started by Tammy at Little Jordan Farm, and Lori at Whippoorwill Holler is a part of it. And we always invite everybody to come and do your own pie too. Well, I was thinking about it, and I only make 4 or 5 pies a year. I'm not a big pie baker, but I am a big cobbler maker, and so I still need pie crust from time to time. I make chicken pot pies and things like that, and we just like to have crispy cinnamon little nibbles. So anyway, years ago when I did more pie making, I had a recipe that would make 24 pie shells, or 12 double crust, whatever. And so it's real easy. If you had this recipe, you could whip out a pie in no time because you don't have to have your pie crust first. Now, I'm going to give you the recipe as it was written, but then I'm going to tell you how I do it. As it was written, it's a 5-pound bag of flour, a 3-pound can of Crisco. Well, I don't use Crisco. I don't use lard, or I don't use Crisco, so I'm using butter, and it's a wonderful pie crust. So it's 3 pounds of butter and 2 tablespoons of salt and 3 cups of ice water. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to just put this in here today, and then I'm going to cut up the butter so I can add it all at once. And let's go ahead and put the salt in. So 5 pounds of flour, 2 tablespoons of salt. I'll come back after I've cut this butter up and put it in there. Thank you. Okay, we have chopped up our butter and put it on top of our flour, and so now we're just going to cut it in. You can cut it in with a pastry cutter, or you can just use your hands. I always just use my hands. You can do a crumble method, or you can even do a schmear method. And yes, schmear is a proper cooking term. I'll show you both methods. To crumble it, you just press it between your fingers and your thumb, and try to get some of that flour every time. To schmear it, you take it and rub it between your hands. The purpose and the result is all the same. What you're doing is breaking down this butter, getting it mixed in with the flour, and you just keep doing this until it looks like cornmeal. The thing that everybody says is until it looks like cornmeal. So this will take me a while with this much product. So I'll just keep working, and we'll come back again when it's all smeared together. Okay, I'm just about finished, and as you can see now, oh, there was a little bit of flour left. But you just keep lifting it up from the bottom and make sure you got it all mixed in well. Some of it's just crumbly, some of it's about the size of a pea, some of it is maybe a size of a marble. So just keep working it until it is pretty even. It doesn't have to be completely even. But as long as you have not put the water in, you can do this for a long time, and it won't hurt your pie crust. It's once you get the water in that it starts getting to where it would be tough on you. So I'm gonna call that done. Reaching way down in there and pulling up, and I don't see any more raw flour. So now I'm going to push it back and make a well in here. If you do see any more big pieces, just crumble them again. There's a marble sized piece, just crumbled it up. And so I make a well. And then the next ingredient is 3 cups of ice cold water. Just go ahead and dump it in. I'm going to dump in 2 cups. And I'm going to save my 3rd cup for as needed. Because your flour, depending on your weather situation on any given day, your flour could be drier or wetter than it needs to be. So you just play with it and see what happens. Again, I'm just going to toss this lightly. Bring in those sides. Toss it up. And start mixing it in. You can even pull the wet pieces to the side so you don't keep mixing it. Because once the water is added, then the less mixing you do, the more tender your crust is going to be. I'm going to make the well again. But this time, instead of dumping the water in, I'm going to sprinkle it little at a time. I'll turn it around this way so you can see that wet lump over there. I'm not touching it anymore. I'm continuing to put that the wet parts over there, and this is beginning to be about as wet as I want it. But I'm going to put just a little bit more water just to finish it out. So I have used 2 full cups and 1/4 of the 3rd cup. And it is raining here today, so there's probably quite a bit of moisture in the air, and so I'm thinking we're not going to need the whole 3 cups. So now I've used 2.5 cups of water. And I do think that's going to be good enough. So now I'm going to bring this 3rd part in, this part that I've put onto the side there, and just squash it all together a couple of more times. Now, like I said, this should make 24 pie crusts. You can measure it out, and it would be approximately a 1/2 pound. But a good rule of thumb is a grapefruit sized ball. So we're just gonna grapefruit or softball, about all you can handle in one handful like that. That's enough for a pie. I didn't get 24, but I may have made my balls a little too big. But I'm not going to go back and mess with them anymore. The less you handle them now, the better. But I got 17. So either 17 single pies or 8 double crust pies, uh, 8 cobblers, 8 chicken pot pies, dinner size, family size chicken pot pies, quiche, that would be 17 quiches. Just so many things that you can do if you have pie crust handy. And if you wanted to, if you thought about it in the morning, lay it out from the freezer. By the time you get home that evening, it's ready to work. So the next thing you do is you take one of your balls and mash it into a little disc about the size of your palm and put it on a piece of plastic. I put that on that plastic, plopped that on that plastic, and it scared my little girl. Okay. I recommend plastic rather than a sandwich bag because you can wrap it tighter in plastic. So there's one ready to go. Isn't this a neat little plastic wrap dispenser? My brother-in-law made that for us. He made it by hand without any nails. It's all pegs. And he just did a wonderful job. If you are interested in having one like this, I'll sure put you in touch with him because he would love to make you one. And he's not too expensive on them. His little granddaughter, that would be my grandniece, I guess, painted the desert scene on it, the cactus. Okay, there's 2 of them. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to keep rolling these up, stacking them, and wrapping them, and then you can put them in a bread bag and put them in the freezer, or you can put them in a gallon bag, whatever. But it makes it real easy to just reach in and get a pie crust anytime you're ready. And I left this here so you could see on this particular batch I only used 2.5 cups of water. Sometimes it'll take the whole 3 cups. I don't think I've ever seen it take less than 2.5. So I just wanted to show you that. And I'll finish this later. But I just wanted to tell you, I know that not everyone is going to need 17 or 24 pie crusts at a time. But these will keep in your freezer for about a year. So if you even had 24 of them, that would be 2 pies a month, or 1 cobbler a month, whatever. And it's so much easier to just get it done at once and know it's finished. And so if this little recipe will help you, I hope you'll take it and make it your own. Thank you.